Alright, fuck it, I'm good. It's not like I've done any preparation anyway. Hello everybody, welcome to the Amazing Reborn Show number 6. I'm very tired. But don't let that put you off, because I'm always tired. What do I look like, you ask? Well, I look like a homeless person making video games. Exhibit A. This guy. It's dark in here. I think I've got a light switch over. You can see my face. That didn't seem to do much. Alright, I'm going to move this. It's going to be down here today. I'm going to make chat pop out so I can see what you guys are talking about. I haven't shaved. Not that pop out chat. There we go. You guys can live here. This is you guys. Welcome to Good Chat. Okay, cool. CSGO, not gonna happen. D3, what? It's lagging. I can't type in chat. Am I lagging? I hope I'm not lagging, but I wouldn't be surprised because my PC seems to be struggling. There's a BitTorrent shortcut on my desktop? Probably not. Let's move that over here. I was just downloading charity documents about how to give money to orphans. I don't know why I have a Poker Stars thing either. I haven't played poker. I don't know how that got there. It's probably got it from some dodgy porn site or something. Okay. I can't remember 7-zip, so that's why I get WinRAR. Alright. Yeah, welcome to the show. For people who don't know, my name is James, and basically I'm with many people are developing a video game. It's an FPS video game, and I've developed video games in the past that have just, you know, blown people's minds. But I'm not going to tell you their names, but they're big. Like if you think of your favorite game that you've ever played, I probably made it. Someone says I haven't paid for my own copy of Reborn. That's probably true. So, let us begin. Where do I begin? Oh yeah. Okay. So what? We were on show 5, weren't we? So we showed you the cube bot. Yeah, we got an update on this. We did this, and then Martin worked on it a little bit more. Shit, where is it? And then he did one with legs. So we got some legs. There you go. You guys like legs? You guys fucking love legs. I love legs. You love legs. We love legs. So the high poly of the eggbot will be done at the end of next week. And Then the low poly will be done the week afterwards, and then it's going to the animators, and we'll also throw it in game just to check on it. This is very accurate. Martin's done a great job, so well done him. Looks like fat lady legs. Yeah, it kind of does. I mean, the thing about like legs when they're not like put into a stance, they look kind of like boring, but they're obviously meant to be kind of stood awesomely, right? Yeah, not this isn't definitely not safe for work. Sorry about that, everybody. You know, when they're actually in a stance, they look, you know, kind of like this, which is more awesome. All right. So yeah, the model's moving forward. We've also done another environment piece. One of the ones that we did last time, I think in show 5, was this. And so we're blocking out some of these now. So we got some fantastic modelers looking on this stuff, which is nice. And then we've also got another little bit of another line art. Whoops, not you, CubeBot. CubeBot always wants to be in the show. I got this. My PC feels laggy. I actually think there could be something wrong. Why is that so zoomed in? Yeah, that's better. That's the same image I just showed you. I've lost my mind. Where's the other image? What did I do with it? Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, that's another corridor. So this is, we're gonna go maybe for something like this, which is fine. I'm not demented yet, Arch. I'm drinking coffee, I'm not drunk. Yeah, so that's kind of the direction we're going to go. So we're just blocking out some of the floors and walls and some of the structures. But what I have been doing this week, because we don't have much for art, because everyone's, you know, kind of, and you know, there's not so many concepts coming out. It's more like people are starting to model stuff, which is good. Is I worked on some gameplay movement. Movement mechanics. You guys fucking love movement mechanics. Everyone's like, James, show us gameplay. And I'm like, fuck you. Buy early access. But I've changed my mind. So I've decided I'll show you gameplay. So as you know, we talked last week about having 3 different backpacks, which is 3 different movement systems, right? And we should probably talk about this a little bit more in detail, and I'll load up the game. I need desktop pin, by the way. Desktop pin. You guys are going to be lost. Like, I'm going to lose chat, okay? So, like, for the sake of anybody watching the VODs, chat, they don't deserve to be here. I'm going to move them over here. So, yeah, I worked on some movement mechanics. So, we're going to design movement together. And I'll show you what I've done. Okay. It's really weird not having like just a tiny bit of background music. Would you guys like a little bit of background music? Just like a tiny bit. Is that okay? We're not trying to put off Linux. We're just trying to not worry about it too much at the moment. Right. Sorry, chat. I moved you. Okay. So, alright. So I made a document, and also, I should say before we go into this, okay, now music's distracting me. Before we go into this, we released a little update on the engine, and you guys could download the engine. The engine update we gave you was so shit that I found it annoying to work in, so I told Firefrog. I was like, yo, Firefrog. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I can't even use console properly. So basically, Firefrog fixed the console and then some other stuff, and then sent me over. Yeah, it's like a Destiny jug background, right? Okay, so don't worry. So Firefrog fixed the console, and then you can download the engine that I'm working in to test. What's going on? Why are you drop frames? I don't know. Oh my god. My PC's having a nightmare as of late. Okay. Can you load my stream and see how many frames I'm dropping? Because it, like, trouble is that you're at the house. This show's gone to shit, Carl. Show's gone to shit. It's alright though, don't worry about it. Don't worry. No one important's watching. Yeah, that's right. They are all, no. Oh, I don't want to have to restart my PC. Okay, yeah, anyway, am I... No. I'm not dropping frames when I don't think I have the game not loaded. Anyway, Rheinforce, I'll look into OBS. Does it tell me in OBS how many frames I've dropped? Rheinforce has uploaded the current engine I'm working in, so you guys can have the current engine with the movement mechanics that I'm working with, and then you can test it out for yourself. Okay? It's just the game, James. The video lag, James. Just turn off Draskell for the show. Oh, so I'll put you guys back on stream. Alright, okay. Rheinforce, why aren't you linking the right shit? What's Rheinforce linking? Why are you linking GIFs? You're a dickhead, Rheinforce. I will actually hurt you later. Yeah, but you can just go to Mediafire. And totally not a virus, by the way. And then you can just download the latest version of Reborn, alright? I just put it on Mediafire because I didn't have access to put it on our FTP. So we're fine. Okay, so movement. Let's see if this lags, because if it does, I'll be very sad. I think Heroes of the Storm is fun. I played the new UT map. Looks good. I'm not a fan of the lighting. That bugs me. Like, it's very realistic and cool, but for an arena FPS game, I get annoyed. Okay. This will probably look laggy because I don't have a... it doesn't actually pick up in OBS, so it's a monitor capture is what you're seeing, rather than actually a game capture. We should probably get that fixed, actually, because it's not a very good representation of the game. Yeah, our UI does suck. We haven't had any work on it. We did it ourselves for funs. For shits and giggles. Alright. So I made James Box, which is what the map's called that I'm in. And basically, right, let me set the premise. I hit the light. The premise is, okay, there are 3 movement systems in this game. Each movement system is probably going to be used by different types of players, okay? Each movement system should allow the player to express the way they like to play the game and their personality to the fullest effect, alright? movement is key in an arena FPS game. It gives you feeling. You know, it's meant to like feel just like like I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of like if you play like badminton, you don't feel like there's a racket in your hand when you're like playing because you don't think about it, but it just, you know, the feeling's there. Okay, it's kind of like that with arena FPS game. It's like movement is literally your racket if you're a sports player. Okay, horrible analogy. Don't ever quote me on that because that just sounds retarded, but it is kind of like this. Okay. Yeah, Statsman Bruno. Who knows if it probably is Bruno. Hi, Bruno. So to set this kind of like to set this up, there's 3 different movement systems. Now I'm working with what I would call the newbie movement system. I shouldn't call it that because no one wants to be a noob. But basically, if you use this movement system that I've already designed but not implemented, you're like fucking awesome at like quakes and shit. If you use this one, you're also kind of awesome at quakes. If you use this movement system, right? Like you could be like really bad at FPS, but hopefully you're having a good time. So this movement system is the one I've currently been working on, and I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. So I just kind of want to get an idea of like how many of you are not awesome at Quake, okay? So I'm just going to do a straw poll. And I've tested this movement system. It's not like I'm not reinventing the wheel with movement systems. I'm kind of adding, right? Okay. All right. Let's have a look. Your question here: how good are you at FPS games? I'm a Quake god. I only play Quake World because Quake gods are fake. I play Unreal Tournament because I'm casual. I think Unreal Tournament is too hard, too fast. COD for the win. What's FPS? Okay. Yeah, that's about it. That's everybody. Allow multiple choice polls. That doesn't really work. Okay. Counter-Strike. Yeah, like if you're Team Fortress, you know, you can put that you're good at FPS. I don't really know. This isn't a great poll. But, you know, Rainforce, you have to link that because I can't access my Twitch chat. If you play Counter-Strike, you're a bunny hopper, okay? But, you know, if you play Counter-Strike, it's, yeah. If you're good in Counter-Strike, it's like bunny hopping. Like, if you know, how, like, I mean, that's like, if you play Counter-Strike, okay, if you play Counter-Strike, you play Unreal Tournament because you're casual, okay? That's all you need to do. If you play Tribes Ascend, you're a Quake god because it's advanced movement. If you play Team Fortress 2, you're also Unreal Tournament. Just make up an answer. This is a really good poll. It's fine. Okay. I'm a Quake god. Okay. Okay. A Quake god means you understand the movement physics of Quake. Unreal Tournament means that you don't master anything, but you understand that you can do movement mechanics. What's FPS means you don't even know why you're here, but you're enjoying straw poll. If you only play Quake World because Quake gods are fake, it means you're a master race. And if you think Unreal Tournament is too fast and you play Call of Duty, then hopefully... Some of you guys in chat are quite funny, by the way. I've never played Quake, but I selected Quake God because I played a shit load of Call of Duty 3. Yeah, I would have selected Quake God as well. Okay. So yeah, cool. Okay, so in this movement that I'm doing, I've set up my binds like this. Okay, so this is, if you want to copy my movement system, it's as I said, not reinventing the wheel. This is for people that, like, I really want you guys to test this. If you actually test this for me and tell me what you think, like if it was hard or if it was fun or if it was difficult, it would be nice. And of course, there's no real feedback and the movement system's not finished. But if you want to just do the movement system that I put in, basically just follow this through, like go into console, type map James box, which is this map, and then bind space to move up, which is jump, and then there's a double jump command, a strafe jump command. There won't actually be strafe jumping in this movement system, but I haven't fixed the other jumping. And then bind shift, haste, and then bind right mouse button bolt. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there for a moment, and then that's enough. Let's do it. Okay, so when designing the movement system, basically I wanted to counter the fact that people have to learn how to strafe jump in Quake to be able to navigate maps in a fun way, and that takes you like 3 to 4 months minimum to become good at strafe jumping. Okay, so what this is, like a newbie movement system, I'm gonna call it, which is, shouldn't call it that. What I put in here is a double jump, so you can jump twice. This isn't finished because the second jump should probably have a little bit more oomph to make it feel like purposeful. Right now it's exactly the same jump but just replicates itself. I've also added basically on right mouse button, which is like a dash. This is kind of like the Unreal Tournament double tap or Warsaw dash. I'm actually not going to put it on right mouse button. I might actually put it on double tap for the new players, because if they're already pressing WASD, shift, sprint, space to jump, they probably can't handle right mouse button. You know, because they're not great. But they could probably handle double tapping WASD. So it's very Unreal Tournament-y-ish right now, okay? So the double jump is in Team Fortress, isn't it? Yeah, it's Scout. Okay, that's true. So, and then there's also sprint, right? And sprint, I've set it to, it's called haste in the command. But basically you can kind of like double jump, and then you can dash in the air. So you can be like jump, jump, dash, and then you can like run up this ramp, and then you can be like jump. Oh shit, the newbie system's too difficult for me. You can be like jump, dash, jump, and all that kind of jazz. So it's kind of simple. I've tested it on a couple people. Most people got it. One person didn't get it, and he said he was really good at Quake, and then he played this and he was awful. And it's the guy actually sat next to me. He's a scrub. But it's actually quite fun. Like, from what I've like seen in terms of people using it, they've kind of got the idea. You know, it's like, it works. It makes them, it's a little bit fun, but it needs a lot of tweaking. One of the big things that needs tweaking is when you dash and you pull the other direction, you need more air control. So I'm going to fix that. Another thing is when you jump in a direction and then dash in another direction, and even if you're looking in that direction on your second jump, it will automatically override and replace your momentum with your first jump, which kind of is weird. It's like a bug. I'm not going to fix it, but for example, if I jump twice, it will take the direction I go in twice, right? But then if I jump and dash to the right while I'm midair, and then look that way but jump again, I actually go back in the direction that my first jump was taking me, which means it's kind of fun because you can like zigzag in the air. You can be like boo, boo, zigzag. Whoops, fell off, kill myself. Which is okay, but I mean it wasn't designed to do that. But the main reason that there's a dash, like the little bolt, we can call it this, is because I wanted the new players to be able to easily press a button or double tap to be able to do something. It's very Unreal Tournament-esque, and it is a very nice little thing. You know, it's not new, it's not groundbreaking, but it does help people kind of dodge in fights. It also helps with like movement in terms of like, you know, doing something tricky, and it also helps with navigation. So it's okay. It needs more personality in it, and that's more about the air control, because right now the air control for this movement system is based off strafe jumping, which it won't be. I'm going to replace strafe jumping, but we have to recode the non-strafe jumping movement system. But at least it allows a little bit of personality, which is good. I mean, it feels fun, right? And it doesn't look very smooth because I'm monitor capture, but yeah, it is what it is. The base movement speed is just 320, and the ability to dash, as I mentioned, is basically just to be like, this is fun to dodge, it's fun to get round corners with. You know, if you want to change direction and, you know, go somewhere else, you can just, you know, dash around. You probably won't be able to press it in the air like 100 times like this, because there will be like, you know, an effect that you have to hit the ground between each one before you can do it again. And it needs more air control. And the double jump's good, but it needs, like, the second jump should be higher. And it probably should take your current movement direction with the second jump, as opposed to take your original direction. Okay. So the last thing I've added to this movement system is actually one of the biggest problems that I see in players that want to play, like, arena FPS games is that they aren't able to use kind of broken physics, because like Quake is broken physics in a way, to navigate the map. Like if you want to go fast in Quake, you know, you're gonna strafe jump, and then eventually you'll gain speed, and then you'll go faster and faster, and you just end up, it's all about mouse control and angles between your jumps, and it's like a technique almost, and you can't, it's very hard to like teach people technique. So what I've done for the new players is basically I've added sprint, but I haven't added sprint kind of like Call of Duty. I've added sprint on shift, and basically sprint is an additive of speed with a duration on it. So basically you just press shift and you're like, fuck me, I'm faster, and it happens like this, right? I've added 250 units per second right now, which is probably maybe a little bit too fast. But what I wanted to do with sprint was allow the new player to use sprint to get down corridors or get around the map quickly, without having to learn how to strafe jump. Sprint will have some sort of energy cost to it, or charge effects. Like maybe you'll have like 3 charges in sprints, okay? So you can press it once, and then you got 2 charges left, and your first charge will start building up. When you press sprint, you know, you'll probably hear a sound that goes like, you know, you're going fast, and then when you come out of it, you go slow. Okay? Sprint will only be available for this movement mechanic, because the problem with this movement system is that even though you can like kind of dodge and handle corners and you've got your double jump, is like you're slow as fuck. Like you're really slow compared to someone else using the other movement systems. So to kind of bring people up to pace, just giving them sprint allows them to be, you know, running fast. Okay, it's fun. It's, you know, it like the sprint feature should feel fun. It's not something that you'll have to consider. You have to consider like when you use your charges for sprint, you know, do you want to use it when you've got the flag in CTF? Do you want to use it when you're in combat to increase your movement speed so you can run away or chase people? But ideally what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to close the gap of like a movement system which is easy to master, which is this movement system. It's meant to be for new players, compared to a movement system which is much more advanced and harder to master, and close the gap on terms of like how long it would take a player using one movement system compared to the other to get to the same item, you know, from the same place. Because if I didn't give them sprint, they would literally be so slow, like they would just not be able to chase. So yeah, this basically sprint adds 250. And you can change all the variables with it as well if you guys want to test. How do you compare sprint to continuous dash? Well, that's the thing. I need to play with the variables, because like obviously you can, I don't want people like, okay, so sprint is called haste, and 250 units per second is what it adds to your speed, and your base speed is already 320. Okay, so you're going pretty fast. An average strafe jumper in Quake will probably move around the map at a base speed, I would say, of about 500 units per second. An average CPMA player will probably move around the map at like 550 to 600. I'm pulling these numbers out of my ass, but I'm saying them as convincingly as possible so you believe me. And shift also has a duration. I did test with different ways to increase the movement speed for the movement system like this for players that that don't want to master a movement technique to be able to navigate the map and be like, I want to go from item A to item B, right? And I did stuff like, you know, if you're moving in the same direction within a certain, like, you know, degrees, you gain speed over time. But it felt like you weren't controlling your... You weren't necessarily completely in control of your speed. And so this is like an easier way to do it. But because it's easy and because it should have quite good feedback when you press shift, it should work. And of course I just need to play with the variables like, you know, what's the haste, what's the duration. You know, I can do stuff like, instead of maybe having the haste just like instantly kick in, I can have an acceleration to it. You know, so you can gain like, say you can gain 100 units per second, you know, so you take 2.5 seconds to get to 250. There's lots of different ways to kind of figure that one out. But yeah, but so far haste has had good feedback. Bolt's okay, but people probably want to double tap their keys. The double jump's fine, but it doesn't really feel awesome because the second jump just feels like you're doing the first jump again, which is what you are, because that's how it's coded right now. And there shouldn't be strafe jumping, and there should be slightly more air control. But a new player, like if I think if you're a new player to Arena FPS and you haven't just like played a shit ton of like Quake 3, Quake World, Quake 2, you know, Quake 4, you probably aren't going to jump around a lot, you know what I mean? Like jumps are going to be like, oh, I can jump up here, you know, like that's awesome, good for me. But otherwise you'll kind of just be wanting to move around and then, you know, use your sprint, and you're going to be focusing on, you know, your weapons. So that's why sprint's there, and I haven't put much focus on like, you know, giving like a physics like strafe jumping. But yeah, that's what it is. But I should probably get you guys feedback and actually start paying attention to chat. Will you be accounting for momentum acceleration? What, with sprint? So far, sprint's an additive. So there is already a acceleration with your base movement speed to 320, and there's also, when you go left to right, there's a kind of transition, you know what I mean, like there's an effect. So far it's just like a clean additive. So if you're moving like 600 units per second and you use sprint, you're always going to get like an additional 250. It won't be like a multiplier. Yeah, and also T.O. Flynn. Yeah, this is the thing, right? The bolt on mouse 2 is only there because we haven't programmed double tap. I think a new player would rather not use mouse 2 or like a keybind additionally to shift and space, and would rather double tap WASD. And when you double tap A, you know, you'll go that way. And if you double tap D, you'll go that way, right? And we'll probably have that on double tap, and then we'll also allow it to be keybound, so more experienced users will use it, you know, just with, you know, a keybind, right? This is the base movement system. Remember that classes also have a specific class movement attached to them, like a hook shot or a blink, and that will probably be bound to control. There won't be crouching in this game, because what's the point of crouching? Like, crouching's weird. But yeah, it's good feedback, Theo. Like, that's what I thought as well, okay? So... Oh, yeah. Tandy Man. Good point. If you're going for fun with movesets, allow players to use multiple sprints at the same time. Yes, yes, sorry. This is something I said, didn't say. We're thinking of allowing the sprints to stack. So let's say you have 3 charges and you want to like press them all at the same time, like one after another. They will accumulate and add always 250 to your speed, but you're going to be using all your charges at once. So if you want to go super mega fucking fast, you can go super mega fucking fast. Yeah, so see, Tandy Man, you think the same as me, which means I like you, because anyone who agrees with me or thinks, you know, yeah, it's good. How do you control recoil? Well, there's no recoil. Arena FPS, I don't enjoy recoil. Will there be walking? Maybe I'll put walking in. You probably want walking because, oh, that's blink. Sorry, I just blinked around. Blink shouldn't be instant, by the way. I don't think so. I think it should have some sort of effect on it. Yeah, you probably do want to walk. Yeah. Because when you get to ledges, you want extra control. So, yeah. I'll probably have to add walk. What are you doing to cater to campers? Well, you've got, like, long-range weapons. So you can camp and shoot. But I also want the game to be much more aggressive than defensive, because the reason I fell in love with Quake, and I fell in love particularly with Team Deathmatch as opposed to like Duel, was because there was constant fighting, which was just constant fun, right? I just want to blow shit up all the time and have these little encounters with, you know, various opponents. So giving people these movement systems are meant to increase how they can interact in combat. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of footsteps. I think like I would put footsteps in on sprint and stuff, but I haven't decided yet. Will there be skipping? Yes. Okay, I'm going to bring you guys back up, okay? So let me try and ask another question. And this is just one movement system from compared to the others. But the dash is meant to add in combat as well as help you take corners. The sprint's meant to help you on straights. And the double jump is meant to help you vertically. But the second jump should be more. And it's meant to have more air control. So you can test this just by using these console commands in the Reborn download. And the Reborn download is can be linked in chat. And the other movement systems might be a little bit more similar to some Quake, but they also have unique factors to them. I'm not trying to reinvent anything. I think movement systems that people already kind of have are aware with, I just want to embellish them and give them a better feeling. Anyway, let's do another straw poll. Because yeah, I think if you don't have footsteps, new players will get pissed because they won't be able to hear where people are coming from. Reinforce, okay. Yeah, jumping can have sounds as well. I mean, I'm going to work all this out when I start getting Faz and Fox to test a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to allow multiple choices. So based off this movement system, like, I think experienced players would probably say that they would jump a lot more, because they use jumping many times to their advantage in terms of, like, they feel comfortable jumping because they know the outcome of where they're going to land, and, you know, they have a good feeling of, like, what's going to happen as I jump and potentially as I land. Newer players often find, I think, you know, prefer things like just sprinting and shooting. And then the dash and dolt, I think that's kind of like the middle ground where everyone would use it, and I think that like more advanced player would just use it more. But if you saw me play this game, if you can just give me your feedback on how much you actually think you would use these mechanics when you play, if you were going to use this. And remember, this is for like new players to Arena FPS movement system. It's not like the final form. And if I fuck up this movement system, basically anybody who comes into the game and tries it for the first time is just going to be like, this is shit, I don't understand. So a lot of the movement mechanics are just meant to be like just instantly kind of gratifying and fun, but also if used by a really experienced player could be amazing. Because I actually think like some Quake pros, like for example like people like Puri, I think they're very creative in how they play. And I think like someone like Puri could actually use this movement system and play against Quake 3 or Quake World pros and actually put up a really good fight because he's that creative with how he likes to play. And that would be when I know the movement system is amazing, when someone can take it and beat the other movement systems with it. Like they have use their advantages to their advantage. But it handles verticals pretty much the same as the others. It handles straights and corners slightly differently, and it has some advantages and some disadvantages to the other movement systems. But yeah. But if you can tell me how often do you think you would use this mechanic when you play? Because me, for example, I'd use dash all the time. I'd use double jump if the second jump was a little bit bigger. I quite like the idea of the double jump, like in Quake 2, where you jump, and if you are connecting to something, as you just jump, and there's like a time limit, you go higher. It needs more air control, as I mentioned, but otherwise, I find it quite enjoyable. And so far, I've only tested it with like 5 people, and I think that I would say 4 out of the 5 are quite happy with it. But one of them was like an ex-Quake pro as well. And so he was just like, yeah, it's awesome, and it's, and like he's like, I like the sprint because that was always kind of missing from a dash movement system, the ability to go fast. But it's, I've got to do a lot more testing and tweaking. But you can test this movement system out just by taking the game. Anyway, let me. Results. That's really quite surprising, actually. Well done, Arch. You clicked all the boxes because you like boxes. The ex-Quake player that played it was Ooze. He was a CTF pro, and he's actually the animator for the project. He did play Quake 4 professionally as a jeweler, but he was, it wasn't Sujoy. Sujoy sucks at video games. Like, Sujoy he wouldn't click any of these. He was pro at Quake 4 Duel, but he was also pro at Quake 3 CTF, if you can call that pro. Like, he won clan base and stuff. The question makes no sense. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm surprised a lot of you put down jumping. And almost as much as you put down double jumping, which is nice. Because I really like double jumping. It's kind of cool when someone shoots a rocket and they think you're going to land, and then you just put a second jump and you dodge the rocket. And the other thing about the double jumping, I'm not sure if I want the double jumping to always be at like a certain time limit, like a peak, or I'm quite happy with double jumping that even if you're falling down and you do a second jump, you can have this, because there won't be any fall damage in the game. I think fall damage is like kind of silly in a way. I don't know if that feeling of like, oh my god, I'm falling, like I'm going to die if I hit the ground is exciting. I find it more of an annoyance for Arena FPS because the game is meant to be so like crazy anyway that you should be falling off stuff, but while you're falling off stuff, shooting some guy as you fall down. Yeah, I can actually fine tune all these mechanics so they would feel good in a day. It's not actually that hard. I just need some time from Firefrog. But I haven't given him my direct feedback. Yeah, so there's a movement system with air control, and there's a movement system with strafe jumping, basically. So basically, the strafe jumping movement system will have sliding, and it will also have a special kind of uniqueness to the shift that won't be sprint. And the movement system for the air control will kind of be like circle jumping, where you can turn in the air. And they will also have a special thing on shift. Neither one of those will probably have they'll probably both have double jump, because I don't want to give anybody like an advantage on verticals that the others don't have. But shift will kind of be like slightly unique. Okay. Hey, did you test my movement system, Squiff? You didn't. Do you want to give live feedback? Because Carl tested it, and he said he was good at Quake, and he was rubbish at the movement system. Yeah. Yeah, but like you only have to press a couple of buttons, and you just have to tell me what you think's fun. What do you jump on, space or mouse 2?
In Quake?
No, in any game. What do you jump on?
CS, space. In Quake, I always mouse 2.
Okay, well you got space. Can you test? You can give chat live feedback. Look, they're here. Yeah, there's rocket jumping. Chat.
I wanna show my skills on stream.
There's no skills in this movement system. It's all decision making. That's what makes it so good. There's no like air.
Which movement system is it?
Okay, you can try. Colin Scriff, here we go.
I'm eating.
No, it's fine, dude. You need to test this shit. I meant to be doing a show and paying attention to these people, but I'm really just like not doing that much. Scriff is scared. Okay. Alright. You can sit here, okay? You can talk to
Holy
chat.
shit, I'm going forward when I jump.
No, stop pressing mouse 2. You don't know what it does. I could have blown up the fucking engine.
What was this?
No, stop it. Stay. Just because I hit you. Yeah, let me just explain. WASD is move.
Holy shit.
Okay? Spacebar is jump. Okay? Space. No! No. Spacebar is jump, and you can press it more than once. Okay?
I can double jump?
I don't know. Maybe you could double jump. Mouse 2 interacts with your WASD and sends you in a direction of your keybinds, 8 directional.
Okay.
And it can be used in the air, you know, on the ground. And it should only be used once between each time hitting the ground. Like once in the air. But you can spam it if you really want to. And shift is move faster. Like, you know, at Call of Duty, you run fast. You like running fast? Yeah. So WASD, shift, spacebar, and mouse 2, okay? So your job, okay, is to navigate this map and look awesome while I go take a smoke. And then I shouldn't have to tell you what's going on. And chat here, by the way. And it's going to feel a tiny bit laggy because I'm streaming.
Hello, chat. Time to break the game. So I press D and mouse 2. Fuck jumping. This is way more fun. Woo!
Yeah, stop doing that. Navigate it. Is
Double jump. Woo, woo. Is this strafe jumping?
well, there is right now, but there won't be. And
Okay.
shift is go fast.
Fucking like air dodge. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Wait, this keyboard. Oh, I'm so fast. Okay, that sprint is like
It's on a duration. It lasts for 3 seconds.
Oh, okay, so you press it and
It's
it's
like 3 charges. And
Okay.
Normally you could stack them. but
3
it's
charges.
additive of your movement speed, 250. And so it's like you got 3 charges of sprint to go fast.
Yeah.
You press it and it uses 1, and then it recharges over time.
Okay.
But you can use them all at the same time. If you
And
want
then you
to.
get super speed.
And you get super speed.
Okay, cool.
But that's not in there yet.
Okay,
You
but
just
that.
wanna imagine that you want to
Yeah,
chase or
yeah,
dodge,
yeah.
you press sprint. But imagine, like, you know, there's sound to it and it feels awesome.
Sound. Oh, there's no
Try and
sound.
do some tricky jumps for it.
Impress people. What's this? Oh, balls. Is this a Spectra ball, James?
No.
Why not? Is rocket launcher an R? No. I want a rocket launcher. Lightning? What's that? No. How do I see which weapon? Oh, there. Rocket. What the hell? Just. I'm flying! James!
Did you press F?
Maybe. Okay, yeah. I'm good. Thank you. Oh, I'm so fast. Is it like
Press V.
V?
V.
What? I think your game is broken.
You meant to shoot stuff to it and press it. You can rocket jump as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. And then go to the right. Rocket jump. Go to right. Go to the right. Left. Go right. Left. Right. It's really needs sound.
Yeah. You want to make some?
Space. Ah, I can shoot through it. I'm really used to like jumping on mouse 2 though. Feels really weird. Can I rocket jump and jump again?
Yeah. You can rocket jump in the second jump.
Okay.
Anytime you jump on the floor, you always have a second jump, and you can use it anytime you're airborne.
But if I rocket jump, I still only have one jump, right? Just I just no wait, not rocket jump, just like rocket launch, like from yourself.
You won't get any height if you just rocket launch.
No, but
You won't get a second jump if you just rocket launch, but you will be able to dash in the air.
yeah. And it's okay. So where can I jump from here? Oh shit! Speed up. Too much speed. Fuck. Huh, huh. I made it. Easy. Can I make it over here? Huh, huh, huh. Speed. Fucking. I'm a race car.
Stop pressing shift.
But I need to get back. What if I press shift and then jump? What?
That was. There's a bug with your second.
It's a bug. Shit game. Too fast. Jesus. I'm just doing like straight. I'm not strafe jumping
No,
or
you shouldn't
anything.
strafe jump because it worked.
Huh, huh, huh.
You made it, screw. Alright.
This is the script show now.
Huh? No. No, this is my sandwich. Right.
Okay, your turn.
Yeah, and give me.
Yeah, I like it. I wanna be able to normal jump on those two.
You can just rebind. But did you get it?
Yeah. No, I like. But that's like one of the movement systems, yeah.
Yeah, this is the Newbie movement system. So essentially, the reason I give you shift is because you don't know how to strafe jump or move like in Quake World, right? So you get shift. The reason you have like this is because the dash is because it's fun and it helps with dodging and the reason you have double jump is because double jump's cool. But the second double jump's meant to be like larger. There's a bug on the double jump that if you jump in a direction, your second jump will always follow your first jump's direction, no matter what you've done. So if you jump forward and then dash right and then jump again, you'll go back in the same direction. So you actually can kind of zigzag. It's actually kind of cool, but it's a little bit confusing.
I like. You lose your momentum when you use the double jump.
Yeah, the
rocket jump. And
yeah.
Jump again and
The thing is the dash is not additive. It's actually like a base speed and extra speed and pitch. So you can change it, and the normal jumping it continues your movement. So it probably should be additive, because otherwise it will be shitty.
Yeah. That's why it felt weird when
Yeah.
you looked at them. And you wanted to double jump.
Okay.
It's like, me.
Cool.
Stop. I don't know.
Anyway, Scriff, you just got the job as QA tester. I'm going to need you to jump around the map for 10 hours,
Easy.
and I'm willing to pay $1 an hour.
It's $10.
Yeah.
I can eat with that.
I know. Okay, cool. All right.
Bye, chat.
Nice hitbox, James.
Yeah, I made a jumping noise.
You made jumping noises.
Yeah.
Well done. Yeah, so the second movement system will probably have a slide in it. So I can let me rebind some stuff. So second movement system binds. We'll have slide and strafe jumping. Kind of familiar again. I'm not reinventing the wheel here, people, but I'm trying to tweak. I haven't figured out the shift for this one. Bind, space, slide. And slide's a bit broken right now. So yeah. So this allows someone that can strafe jump to kind of navigate corners and just slide. And it's a really enjoyable fluid movement system. It should have double jump on it as well. But yeah, and I'll figure out a shift that complements it. But it won't have the it probably won't have the dodge mechanic, which will give it a disadvantage in combat to the first movement system. But the fact is, no matter what your movement system, if you don't shoot, if you haven't got good aim, you're gonna suck. So it doesn't really matter. The idea is get players from point A to point B in a similar speed and fashion. Okay. Oh, and there's 3 movement systems in the testing right now, and you can change. The 3 backpacks are bound to F6, F7, F8, but F8 is the one that I showed you, the Newbie movement system, and that's just there. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what I've just been working on. I don't know why the show took so long because I was just fucking around with the game. But let's focus on chat. Yeah, the slide's meant to be somewhat similar to Quake 4. I think Quake 4 sliding after patch 1.4 was really bad. Like it was shit. Prior to that, the sliding in 1.3 was okay. That was pretty good. But I think the sliding in Quake 4 was nice, but it wasn't amazing. Like it wasn't awesome. So I'm going to put some rule sets with sliding in terms of like the third movement system will be very much air control. And the shift mechanic on that one might be glide. So you can jump into a room and press shift and you just glide around in circles shooting people, which will be really funny. But air control basically means when you jump you can turn corners in the air. Okay. Each movement system in terms of their purpose are meant to be more catered towards people's preference, but they're also expected to give you the verticals, the corner control, and the combat control very similar but in a different way. That's kind of what it is. It's really meant to be about your personality of how you want to play the game. If you want to like dodge, you know, you can do all that shit. Yeah, I'm not sure if glide's going to work, you know, but I'm going to test it out. Alright, so you guys can ask questions, and you can test this because there's you can download it and test it. I'd love feedback. If you guys played it and gave me some feedback, that would be great. But there's obviously like a huge problem with having 3 different movement systems in a game where everyone plays against each other on a competitive level, because you won't be able to balance that shit at all, right? But on a casual level, in terms of like finding something you connect with, finding something you enjoy, it's like, yeah, it's awesome. Double jump is more fun than glide, I think, yeah. There will be double jump on each movement system, because I can't give one movement system a vertical advantage, because the maps will break, because you won't be able to reach certain points in maps that other players can reach, okay? It's kind of like CPMA and VQ3, yeah. Yeah, kind of. Suspiciously similar. Are blocks going to have textures? Yeah, blocks will have textures. We're working on blocks and textures. We should be getting like blocks, models, and textures in over the next 2 weeks. If we have anything like a lightning gun, it will be more of a push weapon rather than like a damage weapon. But I think actually lightning gun can be a really strong damage weapon, but I will give very limited ammo. I do not want to see someone come into combat with 150 ammo of a lightning gun, which is basically a hit scan track weapon, and literally only use that gun. Like for 150 ammo, just be like, I'm gonna use 100. I actually want the lightning gun to have to change, to be like maybe like you can only have 100 lightning gun ammo at any one time. You know what I mean? Which shouldn't be enough to finish a fight. So you're forced to kind of change weapons. Will players be able to see their legs? I don't think any game's ever done that. I mean, if there's a lightning gun, it just has to be limited ammo, okay? That's all I'm saying. I do not want constant LG battles. They're very fucking boring. I think lightning gun's awesome, but just not like 150, 200 ammo lightning gun fights. I'm fine keeping the weapon powerful, but I'm going to make it hard to retain all the ammo that you would ever want just to own everybody with lightning guns. Sorry. I'm reading more questions. Can Faz be trusted? No. No, there's no games you can see your legs. That's a myth. You can never see your legs. I mean, we could show legs if you really wanted to. You won't be able to see your legs because you're like a fat robot. Yeah, sliding kind of like in Quake 4, but I think it can be improved. I mean, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to take, like the base of the game has to have a lot of personality, and I think everyone's kind of instilled with a lot of different movement systems from various games, and I'm very happy putting them in, but I need them to kind of coexist and also be improved upon, because I feel that some of them, it's like when you play one, you just really want to, like, you want this from the other game, and so I'm just kind of mashing it all together, but trying to make it awesome. No games had legs, guys. I won't believe you. I'm not serious, by the way, just in case, you know. Will there be mirrors in maps? We're actually thinking no right now, just because of it will the performance-wise. But it's not decided. Yeah. The air control system that we've put in is called alpha jumping, and it's a simplified version of what you would call CPM. It still gives you the control and the movement, and Faz and Fox were the ones that primarily designed it, and basically they kept the end result but made it easier for people to do. Okay. So yes, it might just be holding W and turning your mouse. You know, it might not be the strafe keys as much. Which movement system will be used for competitive play? We hope all of them. But realistically, I'm sure that some will prevail. But I'm also interested in what the community want. I'm very happy like running multiple tournaments under different systems. But honestly, I'd prefer one. I think if I wanted to, I could probably come up with just one movement system. But I don't necessarily think it would be that awesome. I quite like the idea of playing somebody with a different movement system than me and seeing who can beat the other. What will be the main game mode? The main game mode for competitive play will probably be 2v2 with the wingman, where there's two robots. One of them focuses on weapons, the other one on abilities, but can also do damage. I think 1v1 is a little bit stale. But I'm actually not focused on... I've not got an idea of exactly what I want the main game mode to be in terms of if it's like a CTF, TDM, etc. I've redesigned like TDM to be more interesting and more fun. So I'll probably talk about different game modes another time. But yeah. How configurable will the game be? You'll be able to hopefully do a lot of modding, make a tower defense if you want to. If you want to do your own backpacks, where you take, like, for example, let's say you don't like any of these backpack systems, and you just want to, you and your friends just want something that you've created. So you can modify the physics, and you can just create a custom server, and they can just play it with your, backpacks. I want 2v2 to be like a real staple, but if the wingman doesn't work out, it will probably be 1v1 for tournament purposes. But the thing about 2v2 is, the beautiful thing about 2v2, and you just got to think about this, okay? There's two robots, okay? There's this guy, that's you, and then there's me. I'm a little bit smaller than you, but don't tell anybody. It's cold. And you're the main robot with the main movement system and mechanics. I am your wingman. I should be able to do abilities like, create illusions of you, hide items, build walls, shoot rockets out of the air. I don't fucking know. Basically, it's fucking Top Gun, right? It's rally car driving. You got the driver and you got the person helping. If the 2v2 works out, the main player in the 2v2, the person that does all the weapons, is meant to be your traditional kind of FPS gamer. The wingman is meant to be your tactical fucking genius, in terms of, like, I use my abilities at the right time, I manage what's going on, I tell you what's happening behind you, I'm all this, and you're your own character. So if this works out as an entertainment for esports, if you're watching someone stream on Twitch TV and they're playing 1v1, it's like watching someone play StarCraft 1v1, right? It's fucking boring unless the person is just trolling the shit out of the game, or just, telling you exactly what's going on all the time. If you've got a 2v2 on Twitch TV, and you've got a wingman and a main character, there's going to be this constant, like, talk of, like, what they're doing. Like, let's do this. This ability is ready. I think they're behind us, And you actually watch people on Twitch, and you'll be like, this is actually engaging. I'm watching, like, the best Swedish player, and the best Ukrainian wingman. And you'll have these cool duos. And when you go to, like, DreamHack and you have, like, 2v2, you'll have, like, these, like, you have, like, these famous duos, It's Maverick and Goose. So wingman is meant to be something that hopefully works out, but we'll see. But the idea of, like, that is, like, that's kind of like the later stages, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah. But if it doesn't work, then duel works, and people prefer dueling. Yeah, you can have duel if you want. The good thing about having a tournament system in your game is you can run tournaments for everything. Like, if, for example, let's say I run, like, in-game tournament system, and then each tournament system leads up to DreamHack, I can run, like, 5 different tournaments at DreamHack, right? I can run 1v1, 2v2, CTF, and something else. But I like the idea of the wingman being awesome. Yeah, wingman is a working name. I don't know what we're going to call it. We need, like, a little robot that has, like, a little helicopter on it. A little... yeah. But the game's meant to be fun from just joining and shooting and moving. Wing Woman, much better name. Drama. But yeah. Like, personally, if I was to play, like, with Fox, and I know, like, Fox is amazing at movement and aim, but I'm quite tactically minded and good at using abilities and making decisions and outthinking the opponents, I would rather be the wing bot. Right? And I would just have as much fun, hopefully. And the idea is hopefully both of the main character and the wing bot contribute to the outcome of the game 50-50, and they shouldn't be able to do what the other does, because otherwise you feel like you're just replaceable. I'm going to click this link, and I know it's going to be bad. Okay, no, it's not bad. It's strengths. I actually don't know who the guy is behind him. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see if that works. You can't throw money at me right now. I won't. We do have a donation button on the website, but I really don't want to accept donations until I'm offering you something more of worth. Right now we're in very early stages of development. But you can download the game in the file that Reinforce the mod can give to you. And I think this needs to be changed as well. I actually think the pitch needs to be higher. And I think the haste duration probably needs to go down. And I think that was a bit too fast. Talk about the Eggbot weapon. So far we've only really decided on shotgun, rocket launcher, and how they work. So each weapon only has a primary fire, but there are some effects to the weapons. Is the wingbot beable to move independently to the main player, or will it orbit him? Yeah, we've talked about this, but honestly we haven't tested it, because originally I wanted it to kind of be an orbiting thing, but I felt that might be quite frustrating for the player not to have a freedom of movement. It's kind of like when you play World of Warcraft and you're in a raid and some motherfucker casts levitate on you, and then you can't jump anymore, and you're just like, you're so angry, it almost like it pains you that someone casts levitate and you can't jump. Yeah, don't worry about TDM, by the way. I've improved TDM. TDM in Quake is shit. TDM in Reborn's going to be legit. I've changed the rule sets for it. It's way better. So if you're attached to the robot as the wingbot, you might be frustrated not having your own movement system. So I'm tempted to just try it with its own movement system and be its own like bot. But then it has to have like you know, like can you destroy it? Does it respawn? You know, all this kind of stuff. So we'll see. And it would be kind of nice if, like, you know, when you go into a public server, etc., you know, you can have like you know, certain amount of players play Eggbot and certain amount of players play Wingbot. So I have to see. Hey Noctis. No, TDM is like the best, right? Like, I am a TDM player. But the thing is like, team deathmatch as a spectator sport, it's fucking shite. It's like, it's 20 minutes, constant play, and at the end of 20 minutes, some team can just be 100 frags ahead, okay? It's so annoying. And so many things are bad about it. For example, like backpacks were awesome in Quake World, okay? Like, it's awesome. And, you know, some of the, it's like Quake TDM, I don't know. Like, I'll tell you one of the ways I want to improve it, okay? So let's say, for example, Quake TDM, like, why not break it up, okay? So, for example, instead of having like a 20-minute match, why not actually have 5-minute rounds? Okay, because in 5 minutes, the score line as a spectator sport will always be closer. At the end of 5 minutes, you'll still have 2 big power-up timings. Normally, they actually have Quake quad spawn anywhere between 30 to 1 minute. So you would have, yeah, you'd have like 2 to 3. But let's say, for example, you have like 2 to 3 power-ups, and you do a 5-minute round. And at the end of the 5 minutes, you're most likely going to have a scoreline that's very close, okay? And after 5 minutes, you actually just break it up and then you restart it. But as a spectator sport, you can actually make team deathmatch actually then quite interesting, because it's like, here's a 5-minute round, 1-0 to not Noctis's team, okay? Because Noctis's team is shit. Then you go into round 2, you respawn, you restart it. But what I actually want to do, instead of just restart it, I almost want to kind of like have the game elevate in terms of importance, in terms of like the map evolves, as well as like additional weapons or power-ups become unlocked. Okay, so like after 5 minutes, it's like the first 5 minutes are like phase 1, then the next 5 minutes are phase, and then it's worth a point. The next 5 minutes is phase 2, and it's worth a point, and the next 5 minutes is like phase 3. Okay, so 20 minutes of TDM, like just pure TDM, I don't think, like, it's such a boring thing to watch, because you still, the only thing you're really looking forward to is that who's going to do an awesome quad run, who's owning up with armors and weapons, and then, you know, and then you get so bored of the fact that like ice climbers are 100 frags ahead and the game's already over, but there's 10 minutes left. Okay, so the thing is, you can still have these, like, you can have more epic comebacks, you can have closer finishes, you can have people really kind of strategize on how they handle the map, and just by round basing TDM and potentially taking it as a different tiers of entertainment, in terms of like, you know, it starts here, then it gets here, then the final round goes here. It could be, yeah, a lot more nicer. Third time's a charm. I wanted to design weapons and power-ups. I would just contact me on Twitter right now, at follow2gd, and then you're more than welcome to let me steal all your ideas and input, and I can give you a contact detail from there. I actually I got my Twitch account suspended because I didn't set up the security on my Twitch account, so all my emails bounced back, which isn't great. But yeah, like, Noctis is like super shit at TDM, by the way. If Noctis is in chat, which he still is, like, that guy is bad. Basically, all he's done to be good at TDM is watch all the replays of me when I was playing in like 2002 and try and copy my style, and then he zooms more, so he hits slightly higher accuracies, but he's not good. And the fact that he wins at TDM in Quake is just to show how dead Quake is as a TDM game, because no one good plays it anymore. Oh, okay, that's it. Sorry, we have to go. SO5 Love wants to wrap up the show. Sorry, I'm ranting like a madman, and I'm angry. So yeah, we're going to wrap up the show. Probably not talk about all my ideas, because, you know, they're worth millions. They're not. I don't care. So yeah, we're going to go. SO5 Love has cancelled the show. Let's wrap it up. He's the boss. Noctis used to be a big fan of me, by the way. I was probably his #1 TDM player. I'm going to burn Noctis privately in Skype, by the way, in many different areas. Anyway, yeah, see you next week. Next week, hopefully have the high poly done, iron out the movement system and the other movement system. We might have some textures in game if we're lucky, probably not. But I'm guessing in 2 weeks we'll actually have artwork in the game, okay? So, see you next time. Thanks for watching. I started talking about Quake and I just got angry because I used to love that game so much. I still love it. I played it a little bit, but it's just like it could have been so much more, and that's kind of why I'm making Reborn. Taking shit into my own hands, like pressing the off button.